Hello hopefuls. In today's video I'm going to show you the other technique of the Rustic Bride's Bouquet. And I do apologize for it taking so long to get this video out, but I hope you guys enjoy it. And this is actually the same technique that I used last year on these bouquets here. The only difference that I did with these bouquets I did last year from this year is use diamond wrap and also tulle around the bottom of it and the type of flowers. But you can use any type of flowers, the ones I'm using today, and I'll show you that as well. So let's get started, guys. The materials that you would need is some floral wire. You can use the floral wire from Dollar Tree, but this came from AC Moore. It was supplied to me. You can also use floral wire cutters. I use pliers because they're just easier for me. And then also you can use, this is not a paper towel holder. I will show you exactly what this is, the cardboard. And you use all of the flower and greenery that you would like. All of these came from AC Moore, and I will show you all of the UPC codes if you want to go find the very same ones. The bride requested all of these greeneries, and Faith picked them all up from AC Moore, so she just gave them to me to use. So I'm not sure the name of them. I don't recall. I did know at one time what the name of them were, but of course this is Baby's Breath here, and a lot of people use this type of greenery in rustic themed weddings or floral arrangements. These flowers came from Amazon. I will make sure I will link them down below for you guys. I really love working with these. And right now I'm showing the stems. The stems are different from the ones of the flowers from Amazon. So these are just some random flowers that I have on hand from Dollar Tree. And last year I used these type of flowers, but with these type of stems, but you can use either one, it doesn't matter. Using the average paper towel or toilet paper roll isn't quite sturdy enough. So you want to use something maybe like the inside of this contact paper. This contact paper came from Dollar Tree. I have used wrapping paper roll, but it depends because some of them are very fragile and some of them are very sturdy. So if you know that you have a wedding coming up, you just want to save your scraps or save your pieces and kind of look around beforehand and hold on to them. So that's what I simply did for this project to eventually show you guys. And right now what I am doing is I'm using my box cutter, and I am just going to cut this in half, and you can go back and adjust it later if it's still too long. This is going to be the handle for the bouquet that's going to hold all of those flowers, and also that the bride's going to hold. Now I'm going to take about 5 of my flowers and mix up the colors of my roses, and I'm going to make 3 different bushels. I found that was easier to do. And then I'm just going to take one of those wires to save on my floral wire and wrap it around. And then I just form it and shape it and mold it the way I want. I kind of do that a lot for the way I want, and I'll look at it. And then I'm going to take another bunch. And I just found that it was easier to work that way because the stems were so small compared to the thicker stems that I used in the bouquet before last year. And last year I went with using those that way because the bride and the groom, they were on a budget. So it was cheaper to get the flowers from Walmart and just, well, they came in a bushel of 3. So now I am going to put these all together, and I'm going to form them together, and they already look nice. And I'm going to just place these down in the cardboard roll just to see what it looks like. I'm going to take some of my greenery, and I'm going to add that to my bouquet. And I love using these pliers. I think I took them out of my husband's toolbox simply because it cuts the flowers in one snap versus having to rock it back and forth. And these berries actually came from, I had them laying around from Dollar Tree, and I just wanted something a little bit different than what I already had supplied to me to put in the bouquet. So now I'm taking my floral wire and I'm wrapping all 3 bundles together all the way down to the bottom. So now I have one thick stem, and I am just hot gluing the mess out of this so that it will stay. And it will stay. I was a little worried at first, but it will stay. And I was like, Coat, we did this before. And so also I'm going to add my greenery down in here, and I just shape it and form it how I want it to look. I want it to look more greenery on one side, but also you'll see later I wanted it to be symmetrical on both sides so it'll look full and symmetrical. Also, guys, I want to mention is when you place that main portion of the roses down into your flower when you're first starting, you want to place that hot glue along the sides of the cardboard so that it can adhere, so it can stick, and then any remaining greenery, like when you're first starting out on your flowers, so that they will not come out, you want to make sure you glue it to the sides or push it to the sides of your cardboard so that it won't go flying out. And then once you start building more of a base, more of a structure of your flower, of your bouquet, then you can start putting hot glue on the stem of it and putting it down, and then it will stay in place. Also, guys, I want to mention is when you place that main portion of the roses, and I am using some floral wire and just tying that together. Sometimes your pieces can be a little fragile and you need a little bit more structure. So you're just going to wire those together with floral wire. And then I'm going to glue this. Now I'm beginning to get more of a base. So really all I need to do is just add a lot of hot glue here and stick it down into my flower. And then it's going to stick to the main part of my bouquet. So if you notice here, like I have some greenery on one side and greenery on the other side so that it will be symmetrical. And then you may want to go back, stand back, look at it, and see if you need to add any more roses, which you'll see I will do that in one moment. And I'm shaking it to make sure that if she tosses this, that it will stay in place. And while I'm doing this, I either use a stem of a flower arrangement, a stem of a greenery, like I'm doing here, or either my scissors, and I'm just pressing the greenery down into the flower so that I won't burn my fingers with the hot glue gun, which I tend to do a lot. I like to pull off any strings of glue so that I won't have this big clump or strings of glue everywhere as I go. And then I'm looking at my flower to see if I have any holes, and I do, and it doesn't look totally fully round. So I'm going to go back in with some roses and insert those throughout the bouquet. Now we're going to work on adding the ribbon to the bouquet. And I am working with I should have picked up some wider ribbon, then I wouldn't have to do all this. But if you have smaller ribbon, You're going to just take about, I guess it's about 5 inches, 6 inches of ribbon, put it along the base and glue it. And then on the opposite end, crosswise, you're going to add some more ribbon. And this is just to cover up that hole at the bottom to get you started. And glue that down. And then now what I'm going to do, and now I'm going to take a third piece and I am going to go cover up maybe that gap that I have there. I was getting ready to start horizontally and I realized that I have a gap here. So I'm going to take that ribbon one more time and cover up all of my space at the bottom. But if you get some wider ribbon, you wouldn't have to do all that. And so now I'm taking the ribbon horizontally, and as I'm doing this, you can see I'm taking my fingernail, and where that bottom ribbon meets the ribbon going across horizontally, so that it would have a smooth finish, I'm pushing that in and working in small sections so that it'll be smooth, because of that ribbon is short, it's not wide. So again, if you have some wider ribbon like I showed in the other bridesmaids bouquets, you wouldn't have to, well, I think I did do that, but it gives it more of a polished look if you make sure those edges are smooth along the base of the bouquet. So as you go around, you're gonna start going up at an angle upwards, and I just think it just gives it more of a classic look when it goes up at an angle. And just take your time. Just take your time, because this portion of it, or all of it, the bride will look at, and it'll be in her hands, and she'll see every little flaw, every little detail. So you want to make sure you do a great job on this part. Well, really all of it. So now I'm getting ready to use some burlap sheet that Dollar Tree had, which I really, really like. And I'm going to measure this out and wrap this around the handle part of the bouquet. And I really like using the burlap sheet. They also had some burlap ribbon, and I have not found any of that. And you're going to wrap that around, but you have to make sure that you cut all of your edges, because it will unravel on you. And just trim those down, hot glue them down, and you'll be good to go. Garland, I guess is what you call it, from Amazon. I'll try to make sure I use this before in another video, and I will link it below. And what I'm doing now is just measuring it up without gluing it down to see exactly where I want to place this. I knew I wanted it along the length of the bouquet, and you'll see that I'll end up finishing it off at the top and the bottom. But once you put that hot glue down with your materials that you're using, it's no going back. So just keep that in mind. I felt like it needed something to finish it off, but I felt like it was a little bit much. But the bride, she liked it, and also the groom's mother and Faith liked it, so it was fine. But I thought it was a little bit too much, but it's no going back once you put that hot glue down with your material. that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I do apologize for it taking so long to get this out, but just being a busy working mom now with my 3 boys and a wife and full-time trying to do that side hustle, guys, and YouTube is a full-time job by itself. I do appreciate your patience and my ride or die. So thank you guys for sticking around. And I did cut that pearl at the top. I don't know what in the world. I did go back and cut that with my scissors. So I thank you guys so much for watching. I got through this video. I'm a little nasaled with a cold. And Josiah didn't bust in. He comes looking for me now, guys. So thanks so much for watching. And I do have a few more DIYs to come up soon with the wedding. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.